You ready? Okay. Welcome back to another podcast. Today we've got Charlie Meyler with us from CM Copywriting, and we'll learn a bit more about what he does in the copywriting world and content and digital marketing.
Impart my wisdom.
Yeah.
What little there is of it.
Yeah, and has presented a few podcasts himself and all that. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's very, very kind of you.
So those people that don't know, tell us a bit more about...
I mean, who doesn't know?
What you do.
I'm Charlie. I've been freelance copywriting now for 6 months as of the end of September.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was at various agencies in Manchester and Birmingham for about 7 years. And yeah, sort of experiencing a new kind of career in this freelance world.
Yeah.
But no, loving it so far.
Okay.
So I offer content writing services to agencies who haven't got the capacity in-house or to businesses themselves. And I kind of come in and go, hey, I can do that for you and sort that out and make your life easier. So yeah, I've been doing that for 6 months now after really sort of taking the plunge.
Yeah.
I was job hunting at the time, but some opportunities came about through my network where it made it viable. And then you get to that point where you go, right, it's time to choose a path kind of thing, because you can't job hunt full time and do freelance. So it was like taking that plunge. So I took the plunge with the help of my wife and her encouragement, and not looked back since, really. And the flexibility, the variety of work, the control you have over your day to day is just unrivaled. I mean, there's not to say that there's not ups and downs, of course, but the ups are just brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What kind of work are you involved with at the moment? What's the range of stuff?
All sorts, really. I mean, I've come from a content background during my time at agencies, so I've done everything from short form copy, long form copy, and then I've got clients that are a varied mix of industries and sectors and all that sort of stuff. So I don't really turn anything. There's not something I won't do content wise. Obviously, all written word and stuff. But
so things like blogs and social media
posts. I've just finished up a report or like a white paper for a client, which is slightly more extensive. So yeah, I'll try and turn my hand to anything involving the written word. I don't have a niche yet, and I'm not really planning on one. No. People say you should niche, I think, but I don't know if freelancers necessarily have that luxury. Because at the end of the day, you've got to pay the bills. So if I can keep paying the bills and doing as varied stuff as I can, I could only think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, paying the bills is the biggest thing, isn't it? And once you can do that, then it opens up a bit more choice.
Yeah, it does. And I think what I've learned is with freelancing is that if you're paying the bills then a bit more, if in that you'll have enough to live off comfortably, you've won. And I think there's always this striving for more, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's important to to try and tell myself it's important to recognise that if you're paying the bills and you're being able, you can live and be freelance, that's it. That's the goal, because with all that comes the flexibility, comes the you can't get sacked from your job as a freelancer. No one can be promoted above you as a freelancer. So if you're managing to pay the mortgage and the lights stay on in your house and you can enjoy your life, that's it. And so far, touch wood, there's no wood here. We
say it's a daily there's a variety of emotions that
oh my god, like even the other day it was like I was like woke up with a bit of anxiety about something, and then a couple of things fall into place, or like a couple of inquiries you've made in like months ago that come through. And that's what I love about this as well, is that like the network building aspect of it, and that it is really all about it's all under your own steam. And no one cares if you win and no one cares if you don't win, like in the wider world. So you might as well just make a stab at it and do it as best for yourself as possible. And what I've loved is that kind of reaching out to consultants such as yourself and agencies and things like that, and saying, hey, I do these services, should you need me? And that, like, planting that seed 3 or 4 months ago, and then just getting a WhatsApp saying, "Oh, do you remember when we spoke in March about your services? Could you?"
Yeah.
You know, I love that kind of serendipitousness of it all. So yeah, that's been a nice aspect.
Well, that's how we first met, wasn't it? He gave us
Yeah.
a call and he said, "Hi, just wanted to let you know I'm around.
Yeah.
And this is what I do." And I thought, all right, let's have a chat.
Yeah, well, I think
It's quite rare that someone does that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not from a sales background, and I appreciate that cold calling can feel quite scary. I don't think cold calling is the nicest word for it, because I think that alone puts people off.
Yeah.
But I don't really like LinkedIn. Prospecting. There
That's
you
what
go.
they call it.
Yeah, I'm an old-timey prospector. Yeah, I don't particularly care for LinkedIn as a platform, and I just sort of was like, I don't want to. I find it quite inauthentic at times. There's authentic people on there, sure, but I think more broadly, it's just becoming more and more a slew of just non-authentic content from people trying to sell you something. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it didn't really feel like a place for me. So I've got a presence on there, and I check in now and again and stuff like that. But I kind of, from sort of early on, I was like, I think a better use of my time is, find a list of 50 agencies, find their numbers, and just call them. And, of the 50, let's say in like a 50, that might take you an hour, an hour and a half. But the value you get from that, for yourself, not even the business side of it, just the kind of confidence it gives you. And through that, I've kind of, all the sort of work I've done in the last 6 months has all come from that and my network. So it's not come from like incessant posting on LinkedIn or trying to like, reply to those posts that are like call looking for a freelance copywriter, and then you see 70 comments underneath. I won't do that, because I think it's just, personally, I think it's a bit of a race to the bottom with that sort of thing. And I also don't think you're getting a response. When you see something that's like...
It's rare that it's good work as well.
Well, yeah, it just sort of feels a bit... In the way that, like, I don't go on... I'm not on, like, Fiverr or Upwork or anything like that. I just don't... Long term, I think making connections and growing your network is so much richer for you in the long term. And I think if you can communicate to people and have a personality sounds rude, but like have a bit about you, a bit of crack, I think that goes a long way. And almost that you sell your services through your kind of personality as well, is what I found. So I know that once I'm on the phone with a decision maker, which again sounds grandiose, I'm talking like an MD, maybe at a smaller agency, or a head of content at a larger agency or whatever, I'm happy to chat to them. And I go in with zero expectations as well. So if I ring up 50 people, I don't expect any business from it. I expect maybe, send us your intro deck or whatever. And I think if you go in with no expectations, you can't be disappointed. And anything that does happen as a result of it, I can tell you there is no greater feeling than, picking up the phone, calling someone, them answering, "Do you work with freelance copywriters?" And they go, "Yes, we've actually got a project coming up soon that we'd like to talk about." Wow. I mean, it's like, in terms of like professional development, in my time at agencies, I never felt that high as I did freelance. Like, it's that thing of you've earned it, and the work you then do is your work, and it's happened because of your effort. And it's hard, and you get a lot of no's from cold calling or whatever, but I think the yeses you do get are so much more valuable, and it's just a better use of your time.
People are tired. I'm tired of I get 6 or 7 SEO related emails a day saying, "No, we've taken a look at your site," and you have you're just part of 1,000 emails, and then you've got the automated kind of things from LinkedIn where as someone connects with you and then they're selling to you straight away, and like, I don't reply to them. I'm going to sneeze as well, but try not to do the brownies. It's not happening.
It's not happening. God damn.
That's amazing. It's come out to my eyes. Yeah, the incessant, like you say, you're ringing people up and you're going, "Hi, this is what I do," just making connections with people, and think of me if you ever. That to me is more compelling through character than someone going, connecting, and then in that connection email they go, "We do this, 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 and this, and we've got this, and talk to me if you want." And I'm like, God, I haven't read all that, and I don't care. Stop selling to me.
Yeah, stop making it about you, I think is what I'd say. Is like when I'm not a salesperson, I have no sales experience whatsoever, and I would never claim to be, but I don't have a script really. I kept things super simple. Ask a question in the opening sentence of like, do you work with us? Because I know that they're time poor. They're not interested in hearing me waffle on about like, oh, well, I do blog posts and landing pages. They don't care. They either need a content writer or they don't. So that always sort of separates the yeses and the nos. And there's a few maybes in there, and all right, not right now, but maybe in the future. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about, the maybes. You kind of go, oh, it's a shame. But it's that like 2 or 3 months time when they do think of you and get in touch. If you find that the people that will say yes to you are usually the people that respond positively to those sorts of things, or kind of appreciate the kind of bravery is a bit strong of a word, but like the fact you've gone, it's easy to send 10 emails to people, but it's actually got hard to pick up the phone, and speak to a stranger. And in certain projects I've had the opportunity to work on, it's because of a call and someone going, oh, it's actually nice to hear from someone on the phone. Like those are the exact words I've had from people, is like, oh, it's nice to hear from someone on the phone. So there's an appetite for it, and people like that. I think if just like make yourself heard, like talk to people. I think it's so simple. It's like it's not rocket science. So yeah, that's kind of what I would credit a lot of like. Again, success is probably too strong a word. It is, but as in like the ability to be able to be freelance and for 6 months. So far has come from that. I would say that's the kind of main driver, and a network, of course, of like working at agencies and stuff. You meet people who themselves go to different agencies, and you reach out to them, and stuff comes through that way as well. So it probably networks and old-fashioned. Don't overcomplicate it. Kind of calling the right people, obviously, and not trying to hard sell yourself.
So content and copywriting and all that, how did you get into that? What was that?
I sort of fell into it. Well, I fell into marketing. I think a lot of people fall into marketing because I think it's an industry where you can be creative. You can still retain that kind of creativity. And earn a salary off it as well. Where you can work at agencies and you can be a designer, or you can be a social media person, or you can be a writer. You can still. There's still kind of elements of creativity in there. So I think a lot of people, myself included, sort of fall into it for one reason or another, because they have a skill that they can funnel through a kind of more sort of business setting in terms of an agency. So I did a journalism degree with the lofty ideals of being a sports writer. And then, for one reason or another, did the degree, loved it. I think journalism kind of lends itself to content writing, as obviously, but like I think it gives you that sort of curiosity that I think makes a good content writer, is someone who's curious, because I think you have to speak on behalf of clients who know more than you about their industry, and I think it's up to you to sort of tease that information out of them. So I think journalism helped me kind of retain that sort of, oh, well, why is that like that? Or, how would you pitch your product to a customer? Why should your customer care about your business, your product, whatever? So I did that for 3 years, loved it, and then went to work for I kind of got my foot in the door at a small finance firm, very small, sort of 2-3 person operation, and they hadn't done any marketing, and it was through a network, and they just wanted someone to try some marketing, essentially, which sounds basic, but I was sort of fresh out of uni, and was grateful for the opportunity. So did that for just under a year, I'd say, and that was just like a big sand pit, sandbox, because you could just, I didn't really have a KPI necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, those guys were doing the sort of sales side of things. So I could just kind of left under my own steam to sort of, you know, what would a blog schedule look like for this business, or what would social media posts look like, or what kind of assets would you create? So it was really kind of just me and just tasked with trying some marketing, which was, I mean, it was a great opportunity because it's that year, it gave me that year, which I think when you're first starting out is so valuable.
Yeah.
Because that year opens doors for future interviews to say, well, I do have a year's experience in marketing. And so I did that. And then I got my first proper sort of agency job in Birmingham, and was there for a couple of years. That was very sort of short form, sort of app copy, email copy, very punchy, very sales, very direct to consumer sort of content.
Right.
And then moved up north to Manchester. I was at an agency in Manchester for 4.5 years, doing more sort of long form stuff. So that really sort of cemented my kind of, content writing's what I do. And then that kind of leads us to here, really. And then in between all that, I've sort of dabbled at podcasts. It's a hard one. It's always been, I've always had one foot in the written word.
Yeah.
It just sort of, the guise of what you do with it changes. So, you know, a few years it was for clients, then it was for an agency, you know, in and of itself. And then sort of find myself here, really. But it's been like 7 years experience, really. And then it was sort of, let's take the plunge and do freelance. Have the faith in yourself to do it.
It sounds like there's a mental approach to kind of work that you had where you kind of got involved and you saw where it went and followed what that kind of thing. I was talking to a guy the other day where he said, my first job, I was just told to get involved.
Yeah.
And then I ended up 15 years later, director of the whole business.
Yeah.
And he said, it's what you do when you get that, when you're talking to people and you're trying to find out, what do you do? How do we do that? Okay, how can I do that better?
Yeah. It's not rocket science either. No. It's like, I think certain parts of marketing people like to over-intellectualize a lot. And you know, people starting out in it as a first job, it's like, just be useful. Yeah. Be competent sounds mean, but like, be good at what you do and work hard and ask the right questions. And I think if you can be useful, you're kind of priceless in a lot of ways as well. I think there is that. It can be as simple as that sometimes. So,
would you have any advice for like people that are just like graduating and they're thinking about, and they're just getting into like that marketing world? Is there anything that you've kind of learned from that time where you go, I'd recommend you just do this?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with some great people in the past who, and like, I've seen young up-and-comers, as I potter around my Zimmer frame, who have displayed all the kind of attributes that I would say that like people fresh, like wanting to get into marketing or not even, or find themselves in marketing as well. It's as much as wanting to get into it as, I'm happen to be good at, I like social media, so I'll try that. I think be enthusiastic. I think having a great personality is like, it's like a really valuable trait. And I think I did some hiring in my time at agencies, and like the people ended up hiring were the ones who you can teach all the skills basically. Hire the person that's like, yes, I want to start today. You know? And I think anyone who has that sort of attitude and is willing to muck in and help out, whether that's, by that I mean like, can you read this report, or can you write this blog for me, or can you help with this campaign that we're doing, or do you mind just jumping into this meeting, or those sorts of things. For
last thing you want is someone to go, no, that's not my job.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, be a sponge and just let it happen to you, and then I think let it happen to you. Be a sponge. Be enthusiastic. Enjoy it. Like I think it's so, because it can be. It can be a great sort of sector to work in. it has like real positives, and for people that are willing to like jump in both feet and own stuff as well. I think marketers, or I do at least, when people quite like it when people are like, no, I think we should do it like this, or here's my suggestion. I think be proactive and be sort of on the front foot with stuff. I think people actually go, oh, that's nice that they've kind of looked at that differently.
Think about it.
Yes.
How would you go about it?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's right.
No. And also, like, I think, you know, we're all pretending to be adults as well, you know, and even like the biggest marketing agencies or marketing teams or whatever, they all say they know what they're doing, but like we're all sort of floundering around trying to find, especially these days with so many different changes to the industry and stuff. I think for someone to come in and just be enthusiastic and open to ideas and willing to share their 2 cents where possible, I think is really valuable.
My favourite phrase is, well, everyone's winging it.
Everyone's winging it, yeah.
Better than others.
Yeah, exactly. It's all a show. It's all a facade in some ways. So just like treat it as that, and don't take yourself too seriously either. And take the work seriously. I would say take the work seriously, but don't take yourself seriously. Like, it's marketing at the end of the day. We're not heart surgeons. We're not, we're not pilots or whatever.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we can be guilty as an industry of taking ourselves a bit seriously sometimes. And I think it's fine to crack a smile and crack a joke now. You know what I mean? I think there is, there is a bit of that. But yeah, that's what I would say to anyone trying to start. Whatever my opinion is worth, which is very little, is just turn up, be enthusiastic, and do the basics. You know, as little as like be on time. I know that sounds so basic, but I cannot tell you the like value of just doing those things.
There's non-negotiables, isn't there?
Yeah.
Being on time, being reliable, being there, present, you know, and doing the work. That to me was always the thing. And then if you're any good at it, that's even better.
Yeah. You know, I work with marketers who, again, fell into it through one way or another, and are just like some of the best people I've ever worked with, and are the most talented. And you can't really sort of pin down why. Yeah. It's just that they have an attitude and approach to things that you just can't buy that kind of approach. So yeah, maybe that's what.
So, copywriting and content.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Kind of borderline obsessed with the question of what makes it a good bit of content.
I don't know why you're asking me.
And you know, because in the SEO world, it's all about, you know, the metrics in terms of, you know, how much time people are spending on a page, what they're looking at, you know, and engaging people. What makes something engaging that people want to read and that might want to influence them to call someone or buy a product? Or I find it fascinating that, and every time I go and buy something based on something I read, I'm always like, oh,
you fell for it.
What was
you
it?
Fell for your own trick.
What was it? Well, no, I fell for it, but like, what inspired me the most, and connected most, or tick most boxes for me to go, okay, I'm going to spend some money on that. So it's not really a question there.
No. I know what you mean. I think it's. I think it has to know its audience, the content, and know what state of mind that person's in when you're writing stuff.
Okay.
So, you know, is this a blog is this a how-to, or is this a, you know, who are we talking to here? Are we talking to a decision maker in a business who, you know, kind of knows what they're after, knows the solution necessarily, so knows what product they want, but doesn't necessarily know how that product can, like, doesn't yet know all the benefits of that product. So, you know, you'd write something that sort of, they know the products, you don't need to baby them there. You provide the kind of insights that they've maybe gone, oh, right, that product X can help me increase my average order value or whatever by Y. I didn't know that. So I think knowing your audience is like,
Yeah.
it sounds, I mean, everyone would
Well,
say
that's-
that, but it would surprise you how.
Knowing the state of mind is quite interesting. So, say for instance, you're targeting business business rescue, so like the liquidations and bankruptcy. The state of mind of person who's looking for that service will be very different, and the language for them will be different to someone that is buying like some cheese somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you tailor it, and I always imagine like they're in the room with you. Imagine like they're in the room with you. How would you describe it to them, and then kind of go from there really. And I think always look to bring value in any kind of content you write. I think that's like, I mean, I'm sort of, I have a working SEO knowledge, so I sort of know the ins and outs and the basics of it, but I think increasingly it's more about value than it is about any kind of jiggery pokery that might have gone on sort of 15 years ago. Whereas now I always say like, Google's cleverer than all of us. So don't worry about it, essentially.
But essentially, we always say fundamentals are like Google makes billions from ads, and it uses the organic side to deliver the best results possible for the users, so they keep coming back, and then they can keep charging for ads. So if you provide a good page that satisfies everything that someone would be looking for, then they're going to rank it high.
I think like increasingly as well, like it says the copywriter, but it's so much more about other forms of media on there as well. And like I also think the trust signals are quite underrated still. Like the power of reviews or first-hand accounts of using a product or a service, like those little bits that again aren't rocket science, and they don't take a lot of effort to get. If you've got the good product, the reviews naturally will be good, so you should be able to find them quite easily. So I think increasingly those sorts of trust signals are always something that is a good way of showing your value via someone else's opinion, which I think is a kind of handy way to go about.
We were talking in the office, it's about a month or so ago, about the changes in AI and what someone would. So if someone said, "Find me," typed into AI, find me the best 5 SEO agencies in Manchester, and what if you were of any form of intelligence, artificial or not, what would you use to deliver those 5? And actually, if you're a human, you might go, okay, well, I'm going to get to see who's got some testimonials and from and reviews, and that might become a bigger thing again, because it kind of tailed off for a little bit. Especially for the AI world, is that now considered better for those kind of things, where someone might be looking for someone with your service, and so they say the trust signals might be important again.
It depends how AI ranks those things. I don't know what factors it takes into account when it gives that answer. But I always think sort of just trust signals and why should someone come to you over every agency or every business can talk about their product. If if 10 businesses are selling garden fences, they can all talk about garden fences. So there's the level, there's the bar. It's like, what are your bits, what are your individual sort of attributes that make you a more worthwhile business to go to? Is it that you've got a load of experts that are like mentioned in your about page, or you know what I mean? Those kind of building all those little things up, I think makes a real impact to humans who don't care about, like, people outside of our world don't care about Google rankings, or they care about the thing that they find, and that's they care about the thing they're searching for, and those little key markers are the things that will make you different to someone else.
Of course, AI is the thing at the moment. I think possibly copywriters initially were the most concerned
Yeah.
about work and their jobs and what would happen. How have you experienced all that?
It's been broadly positive, my experience. It's one of those topics that, like, I know we're going to talk about it, but like it's just so endlessly talked about as this like quite sort of worst case scenario a lot of the time. You can trick yourself into thinking that
It's a bad
that
thing.
it's a bad thing, or that it's going to replace everyone's jobs and whatever. And I think
Sky's falling down.
yeah, I think I imagine when they put wheels on a carriage, and made it go under an engine, everyone lost their minds. I think it's sort of, I wonder if we're going through that similar thing of like, oh my God, and then eventually it'll like plateau out. And I wonder if we're seeing that a little bit, because it's not like it's a handy tool, and it's good. It helps me with like admin and finances and those sorts of time saving things. Yeah. But in terms of what it produces as writing, it's never going to be it's not as good as another writer. Yeah. I don't think, because the moment you can spot, and like I've seen it, the moment you can spot AI copy, you can spot it everywhere. And once you spot it, you go, right, I see. And I think people are, forgetting the fact that it's all generative as well. So it's not creating anything new. It's just regurgitating ideas from other sources, sort of thing. Yeah. I think where I found it useful is with more technical clients. Yeah. So clients in sort of engineering and manufacturing who want to have a strong blog presence, but their topics are extremely technical and would take me a month to learn how X does Y or whatever. But they still want a blog presence. So there's ways of sort of building tools within AI that can teach a copywriter about that product and about that blog topic, and give me the information that would have taken me weeks to like research and look on. The
kind of structure.
Yeah, allows me to then go and create something naturally and still with that human voice. But AI's helped me go, like what kind of a manufacturing process, for instance. It'll tell me how that works, and then I can ask it questions, and it can give me the answers that I then need to use it. So I think it's used by me and by the clients that I work for. In broadly positive ways, and also like AI is only as good as what you put into it as well. I think that there is that element of there's a knowledge gap. There's a knowledge gap of, yes, I know what AI is, but when I ask it to write me a blog, it produces crap. That's because what I've given it is crap. So if you can
write me a blog about this, well, actually, what tone do you want?
Exactly, and I still think we're years off it being able to do that sort of thing. And I still think the need for a human writer is, I mean, obviously I'm going to say that, but I do truly believe that it's like important to have that. And use it I treat it as like my cleverer colleague that I sit next to. So if I need to ask it a question about something, or, it's helpful in that sense, but it's not like a be all and end all solution. It's an assistant.
I was giving a talk about it, and I was saying, the search engines and the social media platforms know that the value in their platform is with human beings. That's what essentially uses it and will buy from things and create engagement, proper engagement. And so they know that AI and bots and things is bad for their platform. And you've seen in search engines where they give you the functionality of using AI. But actually what we've seen is the human generated content ranks higher.
Oh, right.
Because
that's harming.
They're very good. If we can identify it, search engines can identify it, and you'll see that we did a test where we created 5 AI-generated blogs, and then after 2 months, we'd seen that actually those had been de-indexed.
Oh, really?
and the others were still there, and it was so clear that had happened.
Yeah.
That we were like, oh, okay, so this is a thing.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Yes.
And I suppose I was likening it to seeing go back to LinkedIn again.
Yeah.
An AI generated post.
Yeah.
You can see it straight away. There's indicators to it, whether it's double hyphens or
it's not
emojis.
Even, and I feel for the people that enjoy an M dash. Because
exactly,
I do.
It was a copyright
it's
thing,
a
wasn't
perfectly
it?
legitimate thing to use, but it's been sullied now. It's more as well like the structure of stuff.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the words, but the like. Just it's hard to explain it, but once you see it, it's unmistakable.
But there's a conscious bias or a subconscious bias where you tend to you don't really read it.
Yeah.
But something that doesn't look quite as polished or as clear, but it kind of engages you with what's on it.
Yeah.
You engage with more, and I think that happens on blog content as well. And with that, then you get, you've got the user-generated indicators that search engines look at, and that's why you get higher.
Yeah, and bring a tone of voice to it, because AI doesn't have a tone of voice necessarily.
Right.
Like, you can tell it a tone of voice, but I think it's good to be brave with your kind of language that you use and things like that. Be funny and be sarcastic, or do all those, like, bring into your copy all those human emotions that can't be replicated. I think those are the sorts of things that, if I'm reading something, will stand out. If I laugh, or if I find something amusing, it's those like human emotions that has been like laced through the copy, which an AI can't do. So until they can do that, I'm not massively worried about it. And I think currently it's like people that just use in AI content, it's just a race to the bottom. And Google will wake up one morning and go, right, we're going to do an update or whatever, and de-index all those pages. So like the ways of
easy way to
there's never an easy way of ranking on Google, and that's always been the case. So Google like rewards the hard work. I'd like to think long term,
the genuine
effort, basically. We're not going to win, because
that wouldn't work. Cheap.
Well, that wouldn't work it wouldn't work. You wouldn't work in the real world trying to sell to someone in person if you just tried to take shortcuts or whatever. Treat it as that, as trying to offer value and be genuine and put your brand sort of stamp on things, or and have an opinion as a company or whatever, and bring that through into your content. And
it's not hard to stand out and look good, though, I don't think, if you do things properly. Do it well.
I think it surprises people how easy it is, just by doing that extra.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bell curve, isn't it? It's sort of like everyone can get to the top of it, but it's those that just do that 5% more. Yeah. Whether that's having like author bios on the blogs, or whether that's having testimonials, or case studies, video versions written down, but all those like extra little bits that you can do. Have a podcast, for instance. All those sorts of little bits that you can do to add on to what is there. I think they go a long way. I mean, I'm not speaking with any kind of data. I'm not backing that up with any data, but it's just sort of the sense I get.
Logic.
It's also the right thing to do. Like, not to get all moral, but like, if you're going to try and sell to people and you want their money, you better like work hard to get it. I think as well. I don't think it feels a sense of like, ultimately it'll come back on you if you don't. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm not a spiritual man, but yeah, I do think there is a sense of what goes around. How's your soul? How's your soul? Yeah. When your head hits the pillow at night, are you happy? I think there's a fulfillment that you get from doing a good job for people. Yeah. Oh my God, that's worth all the money. I mean, that's the fulfillment I've had in the last 6 months of like freelancing sort of eclipses any kind of sort of prior development, like achievement, if you want to call it that. Like knowing that you're helping an agency, or because you get to know the people there, so you know that you're helping them, and everyone listening, I'm sure like agencies are always busy and they're always at capacity. So if you can sort of provide a valve release of like, well, I'll take care of those blogs for you this month or whatever. And that's a nice thing to be able to do, because you get to know the people that you're in contact with, and it's nice to be able to be useful. It's basic, but it's like nice to be wanted and be valuable, and you know. So yeah, the kind of fulfillment side of it's been really lovely as well.
Is the 6 months gone quickly?
Yeah, flown by.
Yeah. Did you, when you look back at what it was like at the start, when you having the encouragement from your wife to go, you just do it, you know? You make
well, she's class at that.
Do you look back, and is there anything that you'd say to yourself now?
Good question. Yeah. I've been thinking about it in general, like leading up to like 6 months, because it's kind of like a small milestone. Like looking back at like March me, going, oh, what do I do? I think I'm probably guilty of thinking, right, now is the day you become a freelance copywriter. So you start today, and it doesn't work like that. And I'd probably tell myself that you end up just sort of slipping into being full-time freelance. Like you start with one project while you're looking for a new opportunity, and then you start with 2 projects, you know, and then suddenly that project into, we actually could use some help next month. So all those sorts of things, you do just sort of fall into that pattern, and then before you know it, you're there, you're in it. You're there, you're in it, and you're like, all right, I've got to write it now, and grab a dictionary. No, I don't know. I think early on, I remember because the flexibility or the freedom is immediate in that you're freelance now, so no one's telling you what to do or what not to do. And I don't know what it is, but like I remember feeling like almost guilt about like the flexibility and the freedom, which is literally the reason I'm doing it. Because otherwise, I would just you'd just do a 9 to 5, wouldn't you? But the reason you're doing this endeavour is that so you can work for yourself and work in a way that suits you and your lifestyle as well, and like not make, you know, work's an important part of my life, but it's not my life and never has been and never will be. So I think it's about embracing the flexibility and enjoying the benefits of it. You know, if I go and I've got a very energetic Labrador. If I can go and walk him at 9:30 on a Tuesday for an hour and a half, that's fine. And it's about enjoying that, and because you've got to enjoy it, otherwise. Because there's lots of stress that comes with it, and there's lots of uncertainty about next month and the month after, and the kind of medium to long term future of it. That all the benefits you have to enjoy the benefits, because otherwise you'd go and get a 9 to 5 job in an agency or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's great if people want to do that. But I think when I remember like early doors thinking, this is nice. I can do these things and still do all the work I can do for clients and things like that. So probably just past me to like chill out a bit, which is probably a life lesson I could take in other areas. But that, and sort of trust in the kind of simplicity of things. I've kept things on purpose very simple. You know, this was a big enough leap in and of itself that I didn't want to start adding complexities onto it or adding loads of stuff to what I do to make it more complicated. So that's why I don't create like complicated email cadences to send to people. I don't have a CRM yet that I use. You know, I ring up, I call people on the phone. I will send, if I do have to send an email, I'll just send a normal email written by me that's not in any way sort of salesy or anything like that. Or the financial element of it, like keep that really simple. You know, keep everything around it as simple as possible and as straightforward as possible, and just focus on doing good work. And it does, you know, and then in 6 months' time you're still doing it and it's still class. And like my mantra is it has to be better than the alternative. That's all the stuff you do as a freelancer. You have to enjoy it, because
what's the point
then? The alternative is you just go back to normal quote unquote work. So yeah, that's what I kind of stick to myself, is that like all the uncertainty and the like ups and downs kind of thing are still worth it for the kind of lifestyle that it gives you.
I was I've had a few chats with other agencies that wanted me to join them and bring my clients to them, and it got to a point where contracts were being sent to me, and it had on it 25 days holiday, and I was looking at it thinking, I don't really ever take 25 days now, but I've got the choice.
Yeah, that's a good. I haven't tallied up my official annual leave in the last 6 months. In terms, I wonder what I've actually taken as annual leave. It's probably a lot less than if it was in a normal setting.
And there's no stress. I'll go away and I'll take the laptop with me just to. And I've got. Every time I go away, I get a new client.
No, nice. There you go. It's an excuse to go on holiday, isn't it?
But like you say, it's prioritising things. You do the work, and then you do what you enjoy in life.
What's the value? That what you're saying then about sure, bringing yourself on all those clients, those new businesses might make you prosper in one element, but what's the value of it if it robs you of the reason you were doing it in the first place, sort of thing, which sounds probably a bit highfalutin, but I do, I will do my utmost to make sure that I can always be my own sort of boss.
My accountant said to me, he said, James, I get why you're talking to them about it, but from my experience with other clients, it never works. And I was like, okay. And he's kind of right. It doesn't really work.
What doesn't work, sorry?
Joining with other businesses.
Right. I like merging.
The mergers, the control you have over the direction your business goes completely. And it's a tricky, mentally to deal with that, I think.
Yeah, no, I've no experience in that, and no huge desire, though I am available for a fee. And it's not as big as
there is
you
a
think.
value.
Yeah, the fee isn't as large as you'd imagine either.
I mean, honestly, if they were deciding to pay me more, then it would have happened probably, but let's not go there.
Yeah.
So the future, when you think of the future, what you're doing, any thoughts on that?
I don't really. I, again, keep things simple. I don't look too far ahead because I can't really control that.
Yeah.
And what I've learned in the last year or so is that I can control the things I can control. That is how many times I pick up the phone, how much work I can do in that month.
How much you walk the dog.
How much I can walk the dog. Those sorts of, that sort of thing I focus on.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you can keep your sort of feet on the ground while, doing the day-to-day work, the future sort of sorts itself out. Yeah. Month 2 me wasn't thinking about 6-month me. I was focusing on the work I was doing, and then you carve out days in your month where you can focus on next month in terms of drumming up business or checking in with your network and that sort of thing. But I don't really think about what I'll be doing in a year's time because this time last year I wasn't thinking I'll be a freelance copywriter this time next year. That was the furthest thought from my head. So it's just a waste of my energy to really think. And if I think too long, that's never good. So I keep things super simple and just think about today and maybe about sort of early next week, and then not much beyond that really. I think that kind of keeps yourself grounded and it works because I think that's what it is. It's really the future will sort itself out if you focus on kind of doing the work, doing good work today, because then you become what I mentioned earlier, you become useful. You become useful to clients and businesses, and you're being helpful, and they'll reciprocate that with more projects, more campaigns, a deepening sort of working relationship. So that's kind of how I view the future, is not to really think about it very much and just focus on what you're doing now, and that'll take care of itself.
Fabulous. It sounds like that's a good place to leave it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely to chat, and
really interesting. I think people who are maybe thinking about going out on themselves might
Yeah.
have a little bit of, confidence that much.
I always think everyone else could do freelance like way easier and way better than me as well. It's funny that like I know people in certain different sectors of marketing who I'm like, oh my God, you would do so well. You do so well out of freelancing if you just, and it's easy for me to say.
Yeah.
I'm not the one having to take the plunge again, but I would say to people as like, there is appetite from businesses and agencies for freelancers. I would say just like go about it sort of with good faith in everything you do. I think that's really important. And trust that like you're an expert as well, and use your networks as well. Use your networks and just start slowly. Start with one or two. There's the transition into freelance doesn't have to be 0 to 100. It can be gently. Start to, and then that's when you get to that apex where you go, right, I can either jump in 2 feet into freelance or carry on what I'm doing. And I would encourage people to do it because the benefits are brilliant. It's the best, so that's what I would say.
Happy days. Well, wonderful. We'll finish it.
Thanks so much. Cheers. Thank you.